The search is on for a new Haiti Prime Minister. And in sport, the West Indies captain wants to see better prepared cricket pitches in the Caribbean. I'm Ricardo Roberts, and this is Caribbean in 10 for Monday, July 16. I'll be back with the details in just a moment.
Conscience is a bit about his album It Feel Good. In fact, he's planning a tour to promote the album next month. It Feel Good is Conscience's third studio album. Released on March 2nd, the set boasts 16 tracks. He said that the early promotional efforts being handled in North America by his label, Empire, are being carried out in the hip-hop market. But even as he makes preparation for intense promotion, Conscience is studying the market's feedback to a set that demonstrates his diversity.
Rossi was the early race leader. He controlled the pace just about all day. He really pulled away with 30 laps left on his two-stop strategy. But Ryan Hunter-Reay was flying again on a three-stop plan. His final stop coming with 17 to go, setting up a straight fight to the finish. Hunter-Reay amazing in the late stages, chopping into Rossi's lead until trouble for the pole sitter. Rossi off with a tire problem. Hunter-Reay cashes in his first win of the year, ending a 42-race winless streak.
Haitian President Jovenel Moïse is promising wide national consultations in choosing a new prime minister to replace Jacques-Guy Lafontaine, who resigned over the weekend in the wake of violent protest over a proposal to increase fuel prices. He says he will consult with Parliament, political parties and organizations in all sectors of society so that he can appoint a prime minister to conduct the affairs of the government. Lafontaine, who faced a motion of no confidence following the protest that led to the death of at least 7 people, sent his resignation to President Moïse, who accepted it. The Chamber of Deputies had called on him to answer questions after riots erupted 2 weeks ago. Addressing the nation on Saturday night, President Moïse chastised those involved in the protests that had continued despite the decision to scrap the proposed increase. He warned that violence does not go hand in hand with development and democracy, and said the bad practices that keep Haiti moving backwards must come to an end. There are claims in Trinidad and Tobago that Muslims are being targeted by banks and some foreign embassies. The allegations are being made by attorney Nafisa Mohammed, who says several people have approached her saying their visas have been revoked and bank accounts closed. And she says with all the discussion taking place with anti-terrorism bill, she's making an appeal to the government to engage in discussion with the U.S. State Department.
Be able to discuss the possibility of some kind of mechanism that can be put in place so that if persons are being listed or blacklisted, there can be an opportunity to go into that particular entity or forum to be able to supply any information that might be required, to be able to clear their name and association with anything that might be of concern to the authorities.
Law enforcement officers in Antigua and Barbuda are getting training in dealing with sexual offenses. It is part of the Judicial Reform and Institutional Strengthening Project of the Caribbean Court of Justice and the Canadian government, and it comes as the country prepares to be home to the region's first sexual offenses court. More on this report from Jamie Rocha of ABS News.
A sexual offenses court being set up in Antigua and Barbuda under the project will serve as a model for similar courts to be developed in other countries in the region. Regional Project Coordinator and Gender Specialist for the Jewish Project, Anika Gray, shares details about the court.
The Sexual Offences Model Court is essentially a set of specialized procedures for the management of sexual offense cases. These specialized procedures include tighter case management processes, a fast-tracking process for sexual offense cases, as well as one of the new features that we're going to be implementing is the use of video conferencing technology that will allow vulnerable complainants to give their evidence remotely.
At the opening of a 3-day seminar for police on Friday, Deputy Commissioner Everton Jeffers charged the participants to share the knowledge gained at the workshop with colleagues in their various departments.
I'm expecting at the end of this 3 days training or workshop, that all of you sitting here this morning will be more efficient in terms of your investigations. And I expect also, at the end of the day, to see an increase in our success rates at the court.
Stay with us, your Midday Sport is next. Despite his side trouncing Bangladesh 2-0 in the just completed Test series, West Indies captain Jason Holder is calling for better prepared pitches in the Caribbean. He raised the concern at a press conference following the regional side's 166-run victory over the visitors in the final test at Sabina Park in Jamaica.
Yeah, it dried out. After the first day, it was very, very moist. It dried out, but still variable bounce, which for me, I don't really want to be seeing in Test cricket. I just feel as though, we need to do a little bit more in terms of our pitches to have consistent carry throughout the entire game, as opposed to balls keeping low and, some balls popping. Still, let's see a bit more. I was a little disappointed in the way it turned out, but I mean, at the end of it, it's still good to see the guys adjusted well on the surface, and, we got ourselves out of a tough spot after losing the toss,
Holder told reporters he'd like to see more consistent pitches which better suit fast bowlers. While he conceded that fast bowlers still managed to take wickets on the surface, he said the pitch was not as helpful as it could have been. Now, Holder noted that the Sabina Park pitch was usually known for its pace and bounce.
Slightly contrasting. I just felt there should have been a little bit more on the surface here. We went in with 4 fast bowlers. Up front, we thought it would have been, a bit more helpful to the faster bowlers. Albeit the seamers did get the wickets, but in terms of the carry and consistent pace and bounce that we've come to expect here at Sabina Park, probably wasn't the way we expected. But again, still great that the guys could adjust, and we still won the Test match.
Staying with cricket, West Indies B faltered at the final hurdle, going down to the Vancouver Knights in the final of the Global T20 Canada yesterday. Now, a top-order collapse orchestrated by Jamaican fast bowler Sheldon Cottrell saw the Windies B being dismissed for 145 in 17.4 overs. Saad bin Zafar and Rasivan Devderson then combined for an unbeaten 126-run fourth-wicket partnership as the Knights eased to 148 for 3 with 15 balls to spare. Zafar finished unbeaten on 79 and Dawson ended on 44 not out as the pair added 126 runs in 14 overs. The West Indies batting never fired, with Cottrell accounting for the wickets of opener Shamar Springer, who made 10. And that's for sport. Join us again at 6:30 for Caribbean Newsline. Good afternoon.